The rig that I use in 95% of the angling situations that I find myself in is this one here. It's my take on the combi rig. It's actually a reverse combi rig with elements of the multi-rig as well. I'll show you how to tie it. I'm going to talk about it a little bit first as well, just so you know my methodology behind it. It's a great pop-up rig. I use pop-ups pretty much all the time I go fishing. I'll very rarely throw out a bottom bait. So for a pop-up, I have complete confidence in it all the time. I love it to bits. Really effective rig. You can change it however you need it to be. You can make the stiff section longer. You can make the actual boom longer if you want to. You can do it however you want to do it, which is why I find it's the best rig for me to use from a pop-up fishing. Absolutely love it to bits. You can have it really close to the deck. You can have it extended with a 4-inch pop-up if you want to. However you want to do it, you can do it. I'm going to show you how to tie the rig. It all includes elements from the hybrid tackle range. I'll talk you through those next to show you exactly what you need. Bait wise, I've just got a little white pop on there so you can see it a little bit easier. I find it's a great rig, really simple, really easy to tie. There's only one main knot in there, which is the Albright knot. If you don't know how to tie it, I'll show you how to tie it now. As long as you tie it right, it's an amazingly strong knot. You cannot go wrong with it. It'll never let you down, never let you down. As long as you tie it right and watch the video, you'll be winning with this rig every time. So, the elements that you need for the rig: hook, hybrid armour hook, shoddy hook, size 6, barbless in this case, and Lenny doesn't fish at the minute, it's a barbless only lake, so barbless hooks, size 6, like I said, armour hook, shoddies. Out of the packet they are needle sharp, absolutely fantastically sharp out the packet, which is great for me. I'm quite lazy with hook sharpening, so I like a hook that's really sharp out the packet, which these are. You can change the hook out with the rig as well whenever you get a turned over point, or if you just want to put a new hook on, different size hook, you can change it straight away. Can't say enough about these hooks, fantastic hooks, really strong, really sharp. Another element that you're going to need is a braid for the boom section. I'm using Conda 25 pound strippable braid. Fantastic braid, landed massive fish all over Europe now. Storming the market. It's a semi-stiff hook link, which is just how I like it. Strippable down to a really nice braid that's really supple underneath, so you get a really good hinge section when you strip it away. It's really good. So you get a really soft braid down to a semi-stiff coated braid. Fantastic, really good. Again, been using it a while, love it to bits, can't say enough about it. You'll probably hear me say fantastic in this video quite a lot. That's because the bits are fantastic that I use. Why would you use something that isn't, eh? So that's the hook link that you're going to be using. You're also going to need a bait screw. I use the hybrid tackle bait screws. You actually get like a little ring on the bait screw. I like to take it off for this rig, so I'll snip that off with a pair of little snippers and just use a screw without that little ring on. Second to last element you're going to need is putty. Pure filth, seriously sticky putty from Hybrid. Comes in green and brown, so you can change it for your lake bed. Really sticky stuff, very dense, very heavy for the amount that you need to use. Absolutely amazing, really good putty. The final thing you're going to need is your stiff material. This is just normal chod filament, 0.43 millimeters, so it's quite thick. You're going to double it over this rig, so you don't want to go too thick. This is 15 pound, which relates in this case to 0.43 millimeters, so that's what we're going to be using. Okay. So on to the next bit now. I'll show you how to make the rig. So to tie the rig, what you're first going to need to do is take about 8 inches of your chod filament. When you cut it off, it'll have a natural curve in it, obviously from it being on the spool. Don't fight it, use that to your advantage. You want to fold that chod filament in half, so you've got the 2 points together, so you've doubled it over effectively. Once you've doubled it over, you want to take it in your hand. You want to get your little bait screw that hasn't got the ring on it. Pass that first onto the doubled over chod filament, slide it down. Once you've done that, you're going to prepare to get your hook ready next, so get your hook out, get that ready. You're going to slide that onto the chod filament as well, from the back, straight through the back of the outturned eye, pass it straight through, following your bait screw up the chod filament. Once you get near to the top, you're going to fold that chod filament over your hook to create the multi-rig effectively. fold it over, pull it up tight, squeeze it with your fingers a little bit, and the chod filament comes into its element now, where it'll keep the memory of when you fold it and keep it there exactly where you want it. Once you've got that done, that is that section pretty much complete and done, ready to go. The next bit, what you need to do is take your hook section that you've just completed and got ready, decide how long you want how high off the deck you want your pop-up to be. In this case I'm going to have it about 2 inches roughly. Once you've got your desired height, fold the chod filament over again, so fold it back on itself to create another fold in it, and that is where the knot is going to be. Very precise, so you know exactly how deep how high off the deck you're going to be fishing. Very precise rig. Once you've got that folded over, you're going to then tie the Albright knot. So what you need to do next, get your boom section, your soft coated hook link, take, in this case, about 10 inches of it. Nothing specific in this case because obviously we're doing it for a video. If you're fishing over weed, you're going to want it longer so it sits nicer. You can have it shorter over a clear spot, however you want to do it. Take that coated hook link, strip off about 3 inches from the end of it, so it leaves you a good 3 inches of stripped braid, 3 inches of stripped braid at the end. That's what you're going to use to tie your knot with. To tie the knot, you're going to take your braid, you're going to pass it through that doubled over loop you've just made in the hook section. You're going to pass it through, and then once you've passed it through, remember which way it went through. You want to pull it up so the coated braid meets the chod filament, so it meets right up next to it, okay? Because when you tighten it down, that'll come back a few millimeters to create that little hinge split that you need. Once you pass through and you got to the right place, change your fingers over, hold the loop with the strippable braid going through it in your 2 fingers. Then you're going to wrap it round 6 times. Keep it really neat, don't overlap, keep it really neat next to each other 6 times round. Once you've done that, take your other 2 fingers, hold that wrapped braid in those 2 fingers so you then have the loop exposed at the other side. What that'll enable you to do is take the end of your stripped braid, wrap it back around once, maybe twice if you want to, poke it back through that loop that you made. It needs to go back out exactly the same way that it came in, not the other way. That's really important for this knot. It's the most important part. You've got to go back out the way it came in. Once it's gone out there, start to pull it down a little bit. Don't start yanking on it straight away, just ease it down with your fingers till it's right at the edge. It's getting tight. At that point you want to wet it. Always wet your knots before you tighten them up. Get it nice and wet with some saliva. At that point, tighten it all up. So pull it down with your fingers, pull the boom section so it's nice and tight, pull the tag end as well so that's nice and tight. You might have to use your teeth for that one. Pull the tag end nice and tight so it's all down, hunkered down together, providing a really neat knot. And you'll see the little mini boom hinge section sticking out the bottom as well from the strippable braid. Once you've done that, trim your tag ends off, leave about 4 millimeters for your tag ends on the coated braid and also on the chod filament. On your little tag ends there, leave about 4 mil each one because you're going to burn those off with a lighter. Once you've cut them off, fold the rig over so you're protecting the knot with your fingers. Burn those tag ends with a lighter, taking real care not to burn yourself and also the knot. Blob them down with the tip of your finger. Do the same on the tag ends from the chod filament as well, so it's all neat, all tidy. That is effectively the rig made and done. Very easy, very simple. Once you manage the Albright knot, it's fine, it's done. Really easy, really good rig to use. On the other end, you can do however you want it to do. You can tie it straight onto a swivel if you want to. I tend to always tie a loop. I do a figure of 8 knot in the other end of the braid, so I fold it over. I then effectively start to form a knot. So once you've turned it over once and made your loop, twist the loop once and pass it back through again. It's the figure of 8 knots. Really good strong knot for making loops. Really tidy. It means that the tag end from that knot comes out the bottom of the knot, the same as the boom section, not out the side. Really neat, really tidy knot. That's effectively it. Final bit to do for you is some putty, and your putty is going to mould around your Albright knot. It's going to form a really good base for it, a really good grip section. Take a bit of putty again. You can have a little bit on there so it sinks nice and slowly. You can have a lot on there so it hits the deck hard and stays there and doesn't move. Again, completely your choice with the, obviously with the density of your pop-ups as well, it can change. Stick your putty on the knot, form it round. I like to make a nice sort of cone shape, if you like. As you can see from the rig that I've made, I like it nice and neat, just so it helps prevent any tangles, and also it helps in your mind. If you're confident that's how you do it, then do it that way. And that's the rig made. All done, all finished. It's that simple. Play around with the chod filament section, play around with where the bait screw is on this as well, behind the hook. I tend to fish it straight. The reason for that is on a lot of day ticket waters where I predominantly fish, mostly day ticket waters, quick overnights and things like that, most of them haven't got huge fish in. It'd be nice if they did, but they haven't. And in my mind, I tend to think that smaller fish tend to feed a lot more tail up, head down. So coming in from the top of the bait a lot, in my opinion anyway. Other people have different opinions. So in that way, the rig's nice and straight, comes down the top straight away. If I was fishing for bigger fish, I'd probably put a curve in it, because I tend to find, again, personally, that bigger fish stay close to the bottom when they're feeding and tilt up a little bit because the big belly's scraping all over the floor. So in this situation, keep it nice and straight. And that's a rig made, done. That simple, that easy. You can make up a load of them, you can just make up that chod section if you like to start with and keep all of those stored up ready. But it's a very quick rig to make. It's not too fussy, you haven't got to worry about doing snell knots or anything like that on the hook. Changing the rig completely if you need to put a new hook on there, or change the hook size. Really easy, really simple. No need to worry about anything like bait floss, either using the bait screw. Straight on there, job's done.